Do you feel exhausted by the constant noise in your head? That flood of thoughts, worries, and the internal dialogue that just doesn't stop? In this video, I'm going to show you the simple and powerful trick that very few people tell you to finally quiet that mind. It's not about meditating for hours, but about a shift in perspective and a quick practice that will give you more clarity, focus, and a peace you thought impossible. But is quieting the mind even possible? Or have we just been approaching it the wrong way all along? Stay with me until the end to discover the secret. Let's be honest, the human mind is a thinking machine. It processes information, solves problems, plans, remembers, and all of this generates thoughts. The problem isn't the thoughts themselves, but when they become an uncontrollable whirlwind. It's like having 50 open tabs in your browser at the same time, all playing different audio. This mental overload doesn't let you relax, steals your focus at work or in your studies, disrupts your sleep and increases your stress and anxiety levels. Many try to fight this with brute force. Stop thinking about it. I need to empty my mind. But that's where the mistake lies. Trying to force the mind to stop thinking is like trying to force your heart to stop beating. It's against its nature and only increases tension. And it's precisely this struggle that traps us in the cycle of mental noise. But the secret to mental peace isn't in fighting, but in something completely different. The first real step to calming the mind is to stop making this fundamental mistake. And in the next block, I'll show you what that mistake is and the perspective shift that will open the door to silence. The most common mistake I mentioned is precisely this: believing that you are your thoughts, and that to have peace, you need to not have thoughts. This leads to frustration. You try not to think, and the mind, which is a thinking machine, thinks even more about not thinking. It's a trap. The key that few people tell you lies in perspective. You are not the traffic on the street. You are the person on the sidewalk observing the traffic pass by. You are not the cloud in the sky. You are the sky that simply observes the clouds pass by. Your thoughts are like this traffic or these clouds. They arise, stay for a bit, and go away if you don't cling to them. The shift in perspective is this: you don't need to silence thoughts. You need to change your relationship with them. Stop being the compulsive thinker and become the conscious observer. This sounds simple, and it is. But how do you apply this in practice in the midst of daily rush? Understanding that you can just observe your thoughts without identifying with them is the foundation. But the real transformation comes with practice, and the practical trick I told you about at the beginning, which is surprisingly simple and actionable right now, is what we'll reveal in the next block. All right, you understand it's not about stopping thinking, it's about observing. But how do you practice this observation in the chaos of everyday life? Here's the trick, the simple and effective practice. Gentle focus on your breath or another sensory anchor point without judgment. It works like this. Find a quiet moment and place. It can be sitting in your chair, on the bus, or lying down. Close your eyes, or just rest your gaze on a point. Now simply notice your breath. You don't need to control it, just feel the air coming in and out, the abdomen expanding and contracting. Inevitably, your mind will wander. A thought about work, a worry, a plan. This is normal and doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. The trick is, when you notice your mind has wandered, simply note, I'm thinking. And gently, without criticizing or frustrating yourself, bring your attention back to the sensation of your breath. That's it. It's not fighting the thought, it's redirecting attention. Every time you do this, you strengthen your attention muscle and teach your mind not to cling to every single thought that appears. In just 2 or 3 minutes of practicing this, you already create a space of silence and clarity. This practice of gently focusing and redirecting attention is the trick that frees the mind from the autopilot of noise. It's the application of observation. And the best part? You can do this anytime. But how do you integrate this consistently into your routine and reap all the long-term benefits? That's what we'll see in the conclusion, along with the ideal next step for you. To recap, we saw that trying to stop the mind by force doesn't work. The secret is to change your relationship with thoughts, becoming the observer. And the practical trick is to gently focus your attention on your breath or another sensory point, and just gently bring your mind back when it wanders. Applying this creates mental space, reduces reactivity to thoughts, and brings you the clarity and peace you seek so much. If you want more practical tools like this to understand your mental functioning, improve your focus, productivity, and well-being, subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos. My commitment is to bring you knowledge in a clear and applicable way. Now tell me in the comments, what's the biggest difficulty you face in quieting your mind? Or which part of this trick, the shift in perspective or the practice of gentle focus, will you try to apply first today? Leave a comment below. I really want to know your experience.